Hey everyone, just wanted to pop on for a quick little message. Um, wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. I hope the holiday was fantastic for everybody, and that you were able to celebrate it in a way that brought joy and satisfaction to you and your family. A tough time of year for some folks, I know, but it's I think it's an important time. It used to be my favorite holiday when I was a kid. I still really enjoy it. The times we're living in, I guess, make it a little more difficult for some people. Or maybe it's just because I'm an adult and I see what the issues are now, and as a kid I didn't. I don't know. But I was reading in my Bible and came across this psalm. It's a very short psalm, it's 5 verses, but it's David very expressly talking about something that applies to today. So I thought I'd just read it and maybe share a couple of thoughts, and we'll go from there. So, verse 1, it's Psalm 100. Psalm 100, verse 1 says, "Make a joyful noise to the Lord, all the earth. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come into his presence with singing." A couple of things. First of all, serve the Lord with gladness. I remember years ago, I delivered a message talking about how some of the most sour-faced people I ever saw were those who were supposed to be the most joyful, and that would be Christians. Why is it that we as Christians are so down? And trust me when I tell you, oh boy, do I struggle with this one. The idea that we have a hope and a future and a God who loves us should realistically bring us joy. But our current situation oftentimes will just cause us to be weighed down and burdened with pain and sorrow. We lose somebody or something that we love, we lose a job, a relationship, or just an illness, pain, whatever. Some people, and they just have mental anguish, and they can't even pinpoint why. And yet, we are told that we are to serve the Lord with gladness. Now, it must be that that's an option. It must be that we can choose it. And part of the way that we choose it, I believe, is what David writes here, that we come into his presence with singing. It's very difficult if we become aware of the presence of God to be completely sad and depressed. I mean, we can still be aware of the situation around us and the hard times and the difficulties, but as we come into the presence of our loving Father, and if we do it with singing, well, what kind of songs? Well, I think as you go on here, you'll see what kind of songs. But if we bring ourselves into the presence of God with praise, with joy, with singing, with thoughts of him, with thoughts of his sacrifice and of Jesus and the love that they have for us, for me, it at least alleviates some of the sorrow. If you go on to verse 3, actually I started in verse 2. Verse 1 was, "Make a joyful noise to the Lord, all the earth." But if you go down to verse 3, it says, "Know that the Lord, he is God." That's crucial. That very first word, know, know, know. That means to become certain, to become convinced, to have no doubt that he is the Lord. He is God. There are so many days, so very many days, I've asked, why, God? Why? Are you there? Do you hear? Are you in charge? When we feel that way, our thanksgiving, our happiness, our joy is stolen. We need to know with a certainty, in spite of the circumstances that we might be looking at, that God is God. It is he who made us, and we are his. We are his people and the sheep of his pasture. Don't fly by that. It is he who made us, and we are his. I think the ultimate, we often talk about being Christians and the reasons that we worship God have to do with salvation and redemption. But ultimately, he is our creator. He's the one who made us. He knows us intimately. He knows us inside and out. He knows our every thoughts. The Bible tells us that he's numbered the hairs of our head. For some of us, that's a little easier than others, but he knows us intimately. And we need to know him. We need to know him as our creator, as the one who has made us. One of the greatest deceptions that this world has spawned on us, if you look at all the attacks, they don't even look like attacks. They're disguised as reasoning. Evolution, the idea that we've evolved, kind of eases the idea of a creator away. It makes God that much more distant. Even if he exists, he's a little further away. He doesn't know us that well. I just saw a documentary I started to watch. There's plenty of evidence for creation, but the greatest evidence of creation is what David said, that I am fearfully and wonderfully made. The greatest mechanism on this world, in all of creation, is us. How our bodies, how our minds, how everything functions, how we are placed perfectly in an environment designed for us with just the perfect atmosphere. To know that he is God, it is he who has made us. To become convinced that he's God, to become convinced that he made us in his image and that his son entered into the human race. That should cause some singing. Number 4, in verse 4, says, enter his gates with thanksgiving and his courts with praise. Give thanks to him. Bless his name. Now, there are many days where I just don't want to praise God. I just want to dump it all on him. Just pour it all out at him. And that's okay. There's other Psalms that talk about that. It talks in other places in the Bible, it talks about him carrying all of our sorrows and all of our grief. But the best way to enter into his gates, to enter into his presence, is with thanksgiving. Thankful that not just that I have life and here in this world, but that I have a hope for an eternity, that I have the joy of a loving Father, that I have a brother who has come to redeem me, that he has now entrusted me with the opportunity to share with other people his great love. Now, I may not feel worthy of any of that, and I promise you I don't, and I'm sure many of you don't either. The good news is we don't have to be super articulate. We don't have to be worthy. We just have to be who we are, who God has designed us to be, and rejoice in his presence. You want to go in, you want to see him. The best way to get to him is through thanksgiving. What can I thank him for? I can thank him for life. I can thank him for health. I can thank him for a home. I can thank him for family. I can thank him for the privilege of serving. I've thought, Bobby mentions this sometimes. She has a hard time going by anybody who's homeless on the street and with a sign or asking for money. She carries money specifically for that purpose. And I wonder what it's like to be that individual. Maybe you've been that individual. I've been in some tight spots. And to have somebody reach out to you, to share kindness with you, to share the least little thing with you, brightens your day and causes incredible thanks. Now think about what God has done. He's gone to his enemies, to his children who rebelled against him. Put it all on the line. let Jesus come to this world, live a life of righteousness for me, for you, die at the hands of the very people he came to save, and now said, it's all for you. And you get to go be in the presence of the Father. Do you think maybe you could enter in with thanksgiving, knowing all of that was done for you? Knowing that all of the pain and the sorrow and the heartache that you see here is temporary, that it's passing away? I can be thankful for that. I need to be mindful of that, which is why it says enter his gates with thanksgiving. You need, in order to give thanks, you have to find and think and contemplate the things to be thankful for. We have an abundance of things. Verse 5, for the Lord is good, and here's the greatest reason. His steadfast love endures forever, and his faithfulness to all generations. He could have given up on mankind, could have wiped us all out. He said no. My goodness will endure forever, he said. His love is eternal. His faithfulness is everlasting. He's not given up. We might. He's not. I used to wonder what heaven might be like for God. I'm no different from you. I want to be there. I don't want any more pain here in this world. I'm done. I don't want it. But I've often contemplated what must it be like for God in heaven when we're all home. And so many aren't. So many that Jesus loved and died for. So many that he struggled for, that he reached out for. Now we know there'll be no more tears in heaven. God, the Bible tells us in the book of Revelation that he will wipe away all tears. But what about the heart of God? I don't want to break it anymore. I don't want to bring more pain to his heart. I just want to be thankful that he loved me enough to let me come home. So today, it's technically the day after Thanksgiving, but I want to give thanks for a loving Father, for a God in heaven, who would let nothing stand in his way from coming to save me and you. And I pray he will give me words and a mindset to share with others his true character, his true desire. While the world is lying to me, deceiving me, pressing down on me, I pray that my eyes will look up and I'll see him and move forward for him. So I hope you find reason to give thanks today. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I hope the rest of this weekend is nothing but a blessing for you. I may do something a little later on this weekend. I've kind of been working on some things a little deeper maybe, but I just wanted to pop on, wish everybody happy Thanksgiving, tell you I was thinking of you, missed you, miss sharing, believe it or not, in a weird way, and looking forward to doing it again. So have a great day, and I'll see you soon. God bless.